Thank you again to Paul Lawrence for sort of showing up here. His expertise is always welcome, and it's really cool. This whole community that we fostered, and as we sort of were in between recordings here, I think it's pretty cool that I think next year or this year rather, for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I think there's going to be a lot of us who will probably all be together, and I'm really looking forward to that. So just
Yeah,
wanted to say,
that'd be awesome. That's one of the big things I'm looking forward to. I've always wanted to go to Canton for the thing, and since you'll be in the States, it looks like it may be easier. So
yes, yes, I will. It'll definitely be a lot easier for sure. Even though it'll be further away, the whole direct flight thing to Cleveland will
there
make it.
aren't there aren't that many Winnipeg to Cleveland flights. So
Close your eyes. What do you see? Zero? That's what they are. So
so
yeah, those are always fun, especially when we had to like work out that Winnipeg to Jakarta flight. That was
mm,
not fun trying to set that up for my wife. But before we sort of look at a few people who passed away, I just want to do a quick just smorgasbord of shit, not just on Prince Harry again. Hey, Rock Hall, you sort of announced that you were going to do a bunch of things today, and then you kind of realized, hey, the Pro Football Hall of Fame's already has a plan. Maybe it's time to sort of like figure out when you're going to do things each year. Hmm? And
yeah,
then you don't.
more than 5 minutes ahead of time. Also, Kobe Bryant's statue came out today.
Oh,
Was
did it?
unveiled. Yeah, because it's 2/8/24.
Mm,
Because two numbers and they were 8 and 24. So that's why a statue happened today. But there's a
nice.
lot going on today. They they moved it to Saturday.
You do this
So
shit to yeah, they do this shit
they
to
do it they
themselves.
do it all the time. It is the least organized group of people I've ever seen. Musicians,
Absolutely.
they should be more organized.
But it's rock and roll, man. It's all about the chaos. It's all about the chaos.
Hmm.
It's just pathetic. As much as we rag on all these other halls, at least we know when things are going to happen because they're
Mhm.
organized to a point. You have something that unites people far greater than any sport that Evan and I talk about every week, and you can't figure this shit out.
Yeah.
You have this great building in Cleveland. You've got some, but it's the same people talking about this over and over. And if you set a season like everyone else does, there's no reason why you can't sort of like make someday yours. Hell, Evan and I figured that out. What the hell do
Mhm.
we know? Well,
Yeah.
apparently more than who's Jan's replacement. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. I can't think of his name.
That's how
Whoever he is, he has the advantage of not being Jan. So, but although Jan is trying to make a comeback, a la your WWE guy, although McMahon who left because McMahon left and then came back, and now he's probably gone again, but he'll probably be back.
uh,
The John Winter is allegedly trying to do the same thing because
mm,
he got a raw deal according to Bob Dylan. So,
yeah, well,
how does it feel?
God, it was so fucking stupid the way he did that too. Like,
Just dumb.
oh god.
Anyway, anyway, so
Let's
what's the that's
yeah, let's
it?
forget about that.
Okay. And I'm gonna let's just end on the folks we've lost because we've done a lot today. We don't need to do the elevator up, elevator
We
down. It's
pretty
just
much did it. Cameron Hayward's my elevator up, and everyone pre 1967 is my elevator down. Football, boom, easy.
there we go. All right. So I'm gonna start with a wrestler who I'm hoping you know something about, but I don't. Asahi. Do you know Asahi, Japanese wrestling?
Mm-mm. Nope, never.
No. Okay.
My
She
fourth
died
favorite
in a
Japanese
traffic.
beer.
I'm sorry.
My fourth favorite Japanese beer.
Is Asahi? Well, it's true.
Mm.
It's a good beer. But she passed away at the age of only 21 in a traffic accident.
No, I'm not familiar with
Um, so yeah, okay. Working our way through football, I think is next. Terry Beasley played for the 49ers and for the Auburn Tigers. He's a member of the College Football Hall of Fame, unanimous All-American 1971, two-time All SEC in 70 and 71. His numbers retired at Auburn. He passed away at the age of 73. Um, we had Wilburn Hollis, who was played for the University of Iowa from 59 to 61, um, and is one of make sure He led the Hawkeyes Big Ten championship in 1960. He passed away at the age of, doing my math, 84.
Hmm.
I'm trying to see, that was not the first. I did this a few days ago, so there's someone who I'm looking for specifically, and that was not him. So we'll come back. Rod Sherman, wide receiver in the AFL and NFL, was a member of the AFL champion 1967 Oakland Raiders. Also played for the Bengals, Broncos, and Rams. He passed away at the age of 79. That was just today, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, come back to that guy. I do think I was right that the guy who I mentioned before, I missed it, but Wilburn Hollis is also, I think, the first ever African American quarterback to start in the Big Ten.
When? What year?
Um, or maybe it was just for the university. It must have just been for the University of Iowa.
Yeah, because
Um,
I had the chance to talk to Willie Thrower's son.
oh, that's right, Willie Thrower. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it must have just been University of Iowa. That was a fact I couldn't find quickly on the thing.
Okay.
So, Rich Castor played 13 seasons in the NFL, primarily with the New York Jets. Got elected to the Pro Bowl in 72. Three-time Pro Bowler. A member of his last game in the NFL was the Super Bowl 17 as a member of the Washington Redskins. Won a championship with them. He passed away at the age of 75. Second round pick out of Jackson State. Also passing away, Earl the Twirl Curtin, member of the 1994 Houston Rockets and 96 and 97 Raptors. Played from 83 to 97 with the 76ers, Pistons, Bulls, Clippers, Hornets, Rockets, and Raptors. Also played for the Sioux Falls Skyforce, Phillips Milano, and overseas and all sorts of stuff. Coached most recently, coached with the Phoenix Mercury and Charlotte Sting in the WNBA. He passed away at the age of 66.
I'm trying to think if I remember him
Um,
because that must have been the expansion year that the Raptors would have got him.
96? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, Also passed away, Dutch rally driver Johannes Jan de Rooij, who won the 24 Hours of Le Mans, passed away at the age of 80. So he won the 60, he won the 60, he was sorry, won the 1987, I apologize, 1987 Dakar rally. He passed away at the age of 80. From hockey, one that I remember particularly, former Bruins goalie Blaine Locker passed away at the age of 53. He only played for the Bruins. He spent a lot of time in the minors. He was in the NHL. He was 12-3-5 with a 3.94 goals against average. I'm sorry. Overall, he was sorry, I read that wrong. 22-16-4 in his career with the Bruins. Only played 35 games, but yeah, I remember him pretty well. Actually, I think the first hockey game I think I can remember going to without my parents, Blaine Locker was the goalie, but he passed away at only the age of 53. I don't know from what.
Hmm.
From baseball, we lost Al McBean, player from the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Hmm.
Played mostly with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Also played the Padres and Dodgers. He passed away at the age of 85. 67 wins in the majors. We also lost Mike Martin, the college baseball Hall of Fame coach with Florida State. So he won 9 ACC regular season champions, 8 ACC tournament titles, 11 times the Metro League, 4-time Metro League regular season, 11-time the tournament champions, 2-time Baseball America Coach of the Year, 7-time ACC Coach of the Year. Made it to the College World Series a bunch of times. including, I believe, there was national champion one, two, three, four, four times. Yeah, he led them to them, but one of the greatest coaches in baseball history. Overall record in baseball, 2,029 wins, 736 losses, and 4 ties. When you win like 1,300 more games than you lose as a coach in baseball, that's doing something.
Pretty damn good.
Mike Martin was 79. We also lost a member of the Rockford Peaches. Aren't that many left? Marie Mansfield, born in Jamaica Plain, Massachusetts, and died in Lowell, Massachusetts, at the age of 92. But she played for the Rockford Peaches and the Battle Creek Bells. Member of the 1950 championship team of the Rockford Peaches. She's a single season leader in strikeouts in the league in 1953. Yeah, but she passed away at the age of 92. Again, there aren't that many of these folks left.
Can't be. Yeah.
The biggest name we lost in baseball, though, Jimmy Williams, former Red Sox manager, best known for not taking Pedro out of the game in the 2003 ALCS.
Yep.
Move that got him fired. He was 80 years old when he passed. He actually played in the majors. People don't really remember. He played from 1966 through 67 with the Cardinals, batting .231 with only 3 hits. But he was 910 and 790 in the majors with the Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Astros. Won 2 World Series as a assistant coach.
I remember him very well. Jimmy One M Williams.
Yep. One with he won with the Braves. He won one with the Phillies in 2008. He was the AL manager of the year in 1999. But he passed away at the age of 80. I don't know. He passed away from a short illness, is what they said. From famous, just people being famous, we have 2 of those I want to discuss quickly. One is Cheetah Rivera passed away. Do you remember Cheetah Rivera?
I feel like I should.
Yeah, so
Sounds like multiple Love Boat guest star.
Probably at some point. One of the best known Broadway folks of all time, won 2 Tony Awards. She was in West Side Story, Chicago, Kiss of Spider Woman, 10-time Tony Award nominee. But yeah, one of the greatest people ever on Broadway. She passed away at the age of 91. The bigger celebrity, particularly for us, who passed away this week is Carl Weathers.
Huge.
Carl Weathers, of course, 2-time in our fictitious athlete Hall of Fame.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Apollo Creed, of one of the early inductees. Actually, they were both early inductees, and Chubbs Peterson in the contributor category. I wondered too, because I think that the day he died or the day before, I saw him in a commercial that he's doing with Gronk, where I guess he's sort of like playing off his Mandalorian character, and with Gronkowski doing that, was it FanDuel, the kick of death or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's doing that. So, and I haven't seen it since. So I wonder if they just abruptly paused that.
Maybe.
Yeah, because Carl Weathers, what was he? 76, still looked. I mean, facially he looked old, but I mean, from the neck down, he looked pretty damn good, right?
They said he died peacefully in his sleep.
Let's hope.
Which is, the way I want to go, not screaming in fear like the people in my grandfather's car. But I want to die peacefully in my sleep like my grandfather, not screaming in fear like the people in his car.
Okay.
Sorry, I only gave half the joke. It's my fault. But I mean, of course, he was in The Mandalorian, as we spoke recently. Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Predator, Happy Gilmore.
Never became the #1 guy. I mean, they tried with Action Jackson, which wasn't bad, but it just wasn't. He wasn't the lead, but he had such a long, great career, and was enjoying that renaissance with Mandalorian. I think there's got to be a lot of people, like new Star Wars fans under 30, who had no idea of anything else that he ever did.
Yeah, I honestly think I watched the TV show In the Heat of the Night with Carol O'Connor.
Yeah,
pretty much every single episode, and he was the police chief.
Okay.
Carol O'Connor's boss technically in that show. And I think I was like, that was one of the first times I saw him. I was like, oh wait, that's the guy from Rocky. I remember thinking that. But yeah, he was in all sorts of stuff for many, many years. And one of the from everything I've ever heard, one of the nicest guys, but also
Yeah.
uh, a heck of an actor, and played 8 games in the NFL as a linebacker.
No, Stallone did this great tribute to him also,
Yeah,
which was, certainly very touching. Man, he,
yeah.
he played Muhammad Ali better than Muhammad Ali at one point. You could almost argue.
No, that's probably true.
Yeah, it
Um,
was just so good. Yeah, but Godspeed to someone who's certainly very important to Evan and I.
yes. Everyone else I have is from music, so I'll go through those quickly because we have a really big name who passed away yesterday. Melinda Ledbetter, better known as the manager and wife of Brian Wilson, passed away at the age of 77 very suddenly. Um, but pretty much managed his career after the Beach Boys. So, um, yeah. Also passing away was Aston family man Barrett, Rastafarian, and the band leader of Bob Marley's backing band, the
Oh,
Wailers. So
okay.
he was not one of the original Wailers, because all the original Wailers are gone. But he was took over. When did he take over specifically? He passed away at the age of 77. I don't see exactly when he took over there. He was one of the original Wailers. He was not inducted with the Wailers and Bob Marley to the Rock Hall, but co-produced a bunch of his albums and arranged a bunch of songs for the Wailers. He was active from 62 to 2019, but he was known as Family Man because he allegedly fathered 41 children during his lifetime. So
That's more than two NBA teams.
that is indeed. So
Maybe.
23 daughters and 18 sons.
Jeez.
So and he got nicknamed Family Man before he had any kids. So he was just living up to the sobriquet there. Also passed away Donald Kinsey, uh, the member of the backing group for Peter Tosh, the
Hmm.
Word Sound Power Band. When the guitarist there, he passed away at the age of 70. Recorded with Albert King, Peter Tosh, Bob Marley Wailers, and Roy Buchanan. But he was 70 years old. We only got a few more here. Um, one of the big names who passed away, someone who's been considered for the Rock Hall but did not get in, Wayne Kramer of MC5, passed away
Mm.
at the age of
Is he
75.
the drummer?
No, he's a guitarist.
Okay.
Rolling Stone calls him ranked him as one of the 100 greatest guitarists of all time.
There can't be many of them left.
Of MC5?
Yeah.
Um, it's a good
Well,
question. I'd have to see.
yeah, I guess while you're looking that up, for those
Well,
unaware.
I'm not gonna look that up now. It's too
Okay.
late.
Well, I guess yeah, MC5 is just like one of the, in my opinion, one of the most important bands that just never got their due. Just proto
And
punk.
MC5 is my choice for the Musical Excellence Award this year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They've been nominated several times. They keep finishing really low on all the voting things online. I just feel like they're ripe for that. That's the type of band. MC5 is incredibly influential and do not get their due. That's the exact type of people who should be getting the musical excellence.
I like that thinking. We were
So
gonna do like a rock prediction thing. It's funny, like we were gonna do something like yesterday. Then I said let's just not bother because they're gonna announce something in the morning, and then they didn't. And I'm refreshing over and over. It's like, and then I realized, yeah, they figured out that they're doing this the same day as the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
yeah,
Shout out to someone who probably sent you a message to Richie Leitner. Richie, if you're watching, same thing that you sent me. I don't know who I'm predicting. I'm just saying Tracy Chapman is my dark horse.
yeah, I think Chase Chapman looking at he's looking like very Kate Bushy this. Um, so
Yep. So I'm just gonna.
yeah,
I didn't have anything else to sort of add to that because I don't feel strong about anybody else. I'm just sort of like going with my gut here. So this is just everything just seems to be coming up Millhouse for Miss Chapman.
Yeah. So Kramer died of pancreatic cancer. In the words of Tom Morello, his band, the MC5, basically invented punk rock music. Wayne came through personal trials of fire with drugs and jail time and emerged a transformed soul who went on to save countless lives through his tireless acts of service. That's as good an epitaph as I think any rock guitarist can have.
Sounds pretty
So
good to me.
Godspeed.
Hmm.
Another guy who I enjoy a lot, a psychobilly, a weird alternative guy from the early days of MTV. You might remember Mojo Nixon. Do you remember
Oh,
Mojo?
he's dead.
Yeah, he passed at
Steve
the age of
Roper.
only six. Yeah, passed the age of only 66.
Oh,
Um,
Glenn Fry must die. No, Don
yeah,
Henley must
yeah,
die before he gets together with Glenn Fry.
and same thing as also Elvis is Everywhere. If you remember that song,
Yes, I do. Which I
but
think he
he
followed up with Elvis is Still the King. He had a niche, if I remember right,
did.
because he was the Skid Roper was the other guy, right? So Mojo was the lead singer.
Correct. Yeah.
I believe he had a role in that really shitty Dennis Quaid film where he played Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh, great! Not Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, yeah. I think he was part of Lewis's band, if I remember correctly.
Interesting.
Was he
Well, he
also?
passed away.
But
Sorry,
I was
you
thinking,
go.
was he also in Boogie Nights, or am I thinking of somebody else? Like
I
Julianne Moore's husband.
don't know. I
Hmm.
do know. Yeah, he had three singles in his life. He was a Great Balls of Fire. That's very good. He was in Rock and Roll High School Forever, Super Mario Brothers as Toad in the 1993 version.
Okay.
Car 54, Where Are You? And then a whole bunch of stuff I've never heard of. But his three singles were Elvis Are Everywhere and Don Henley Must Die. And the other one, his highest charting single of all time, Debbie Gibson is Pregnant with My Two-Headed Love Child,
I don't remember that.
which hit number 16 on the modern rock charts in 1989. But he died at the age of 66 from a cardiac event aboard the Outlaw Country Cruise, as was docked in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So he died on a cruise ship, the Outlaw Country cruise ship. So yeah, 66
Cool.
years old.
Yeah.
Two to go here. Next one, I think we have to talk about a man whose death caused a little bit of controversy one way or another. Toby Keith passed away at the age of 62. Um, his song Red Solo Cup is one of my favorite country songs of the last 20 something years. His Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue is one of my least favorite songs of all time. Um, his stuff in the 90s was really good. He got more and more political. He's also very much responsible for the backlash against the Dixie Chicks.
Mhm.
One of the principal promoters of that. Complicated individual. Did a lot of good. Did a lot of support for the troops. Did a lot of charity events. Also caused a lot of issues for people who he did not
Well,
like.
yeah, I mean, I'll agree with you completely on that. Toby knew who Toby was, though,
That's
and
true.
I'll give him credit for that. Actually, I found out that he passed away just because, as much as we all say how toxic X is, we're all still there, and I can't hate it. It brought so many of us together. Like in our little crew, right? It's we're all still doing it. We're all doing that. But I mean, like I saw, like Dixie Chicks are trending. Like, why are they trending? And it was a lot of people just saying like how happy the Dixie Chicks are, and I don't know if they're happy or not. It's an interesting thing being a left wing country band, isn't it? In this era.
Yeah, yeah.
But goodbye, Earl. I don't mean to sort of like say that against Toby. Toby wasn't my jam, but I guess almost like we were talking about when we were off air a little bit about Taylor Swift. I respect them. So we're putting them in the same category, but they knew who they were and they're talented for what they did.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Uh,
Well, so
also,
yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Toby Keith died of stomach cancer.
yeah,
He was 62.
yeah. Also, he could deliver a very good suplex. He almost bought the wrestling promotion TNA.
Did he really?
Almost didn't. He was sort of Jeff Jarrett tried to bring him in for sort of like that for some capital. It didn't quite happen. And then eventually the person who did buy a portion of that and then got screwed out of it was Billy Corgan,
Really?
really, who now owns an old,
That's the man who went crazy and is apparently back. So,
well, he owns another promotion now, that the old NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, which is not doing very well because they did a pay-per-view that nobody watched right after they almost signed with, I think CW, not CW, you were like one of those lower networks or whatever. But the pay-per-view that they had a bunch of people doing coke
hmm,
and backstage segment, which why would you do that?
hmm.
Anyway, and I know who you're closing with, so let's finish off with that.
Yeah. So, I turns out I didn't. I thought I was gonna have the chance to see him this summer. So the Spinners came through Elk Grove, which is the next town over. It's a town my wife actually grew up in. And they have a great concert series during the summer. And the Spinners came through. Fortunately, the Spinners came through when I was on my vacation.
Mm.
But it turns out that Henry Fambro, who passed away yesterday at the age of 85, had actually retired in April of last year.
Oh,
So he wasn't actually going to be there in July. So there's another group called the Spinners, which is still performing. But Henry Fambro started performing in 1954 and performed through 2003. And not to say that everything was always easy. He and his friends, he and the five of them founded a group called the Domingos in 1954.
oh,
Domingos with E on the end, and changed their name to the Spinners. Fambro was drafted in the Army in 61, spent 2 years, and they signed with Motown Records right after he got out. But they went 6 years without a hit, and he ended up spending time serving as Barry Gordy's mother's chauffeur for a while
mm,
to earn the contract. But the Spinners would go on to be, they finally got elected to the Rock Hall last year. It's great Fambro was still around. Note to the Rock Hall, elect Cool in the gang while Cool's still here. Thank you. And I mean, CP Spencer died in 04, Billy Henderson in 07, Purvis Jackson 08, and Bobby Smith in 2013. So here's the last remaining member of the group. But he passed away at the age of 85. Um, they were elected to Rock Hall 69 years after they formed. This is the 70th anniversary of their forming. And they were eligible for 37 years before they were inducted. So
nominated many times too.
many times, just absolutely deserve to be there. Rubber Band Man is still one of my absolute favorite songs of
Great
all
song.
time. And they've got other stuff as well. I love Rubber Band Man, always makes me happy every time I see it. And the video is fantastic too. Them in their like blue temptation suits,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
dancing
yeah.
with girls out of the audience with gargantuan rubber bands. Um, yeah, they were a heck of a group. I love the Spinners. I was real happy they got it. I'm happy that Henry was there to see it. Um, but yeah, 85, not a bad run for a kid from suburban Detroit.
Yeah.
And 69 years in music is crazy.
Yeah, for me, it's "I'll Be Around." That's
I'll
my
be
favorite.
around is great too.
Yeah, that's my favorite Spinner song. You and
So,
I, like,
so
go ahead.
and he was one of the three main singers of the group, but he was more the baritone guy for it. So the one you probably best know him for is "I Don't Want to Lose You,"
Mhm.
and also "Living a Little, Laughing a Little."
Yeah,
Were both him. So he was the lower voice of the lead singers of the three of them. So, yep,
yeah.
that's
Godspeed.
yeah.
All right, so another episode down. If you like what we're doing here, check out everything that we're doing at nothalloffame.com. There is a lot more material. I've been doing a lot more interviews lately, and there's a lot more coming. So check
Mhm.
those out. A lot of them are just like real good historical looks at some great books that have come out. So check those out if you can. Also, if you want to be part of our Pro Football Hall of Fame Revisited project and you think you have something to offer, we would love to have you. Oh God, there's so many other things that I do. Another shout out to Vinny Lospinoso, who I've been doing a lot with him lately. where he's been making a lot of Hall of Fame cases. So check those out. We've also started a series where we're doing a deep dive again. Yeah, two white guys looking at the history of basketball, but well, why the hell not? I think we treat it with a lot of great respect, where we're just looking at some of these preliminary nominees that, who are these guys? Well, we tell you. And I've given Vinny a new moniker. He's America's favorite sports historian.
Sounds good to me.
Well, why not? Nobody has it. So it's him. Might as well be him.
Sure. Why not?
There you go. I mean, like the late spinner, he can run with that for another 60 years. He's young.
He is.
Mm-hmm. He could create the Kirk Buchner Award. I don't know who would win that and what the category would be. Half winner of the
You,
most.
you got time to develop into this. So
I already came up with it. The winner for the half alcoholic, half asshole award, the Buchner.
all right.
Or whatever. They're not all gems, Evan. They're not all gems.
Got it.
All right. So wherever you all are, wherever you may be, make it a fantastic day. Take care, everybody.
Take care.